What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode today of the My Player Career Mode here on FIFA 18. I owe you guys a quick apology for yesterday's episode. I actually titled it episode number 5 when it was actually episode 6. And a few of you guys pointed that in the comment section. And of course, I was away all day. I was out watching the grand final of the Super League, which, by the way, was an unbelievable experience. I recommend for you guys, if you ever get a chance to go to a final of a sporting event, go to it. It is honestly an unbelievable experience. But going back to the apology, guys, obviously I was out and then I came back later on. I got back into Leeds for like quarter to 12 or something. And then I had to be up quite early in the morning the next day. So I went pretty much straight to bed. Not realizing, of course, that I titled it wrong. And then when I woke up this morning, did my stuff, came back home, I came onto YouTube, I was like, wait, this is titled wrong. I'm sure we should be on episode 6. So I apologize for that. It is changed now. Of course, if you're watching this episode and you haven't seen that one and you end up watching it now after this episode goes live, has no relevance to you. But for people who watched yesterday's episode, I apologize. I got it wrong. It's now changed. We are on to episode 7 today, and that was supposed to say episode 6. My bad, guys. So from the episode, a few of you guys have asked me to do a few different stuff. We changed the hairstyle of Ben. He has now got a low mohawk, which I hope I got that right to the one of you guys who asked for that in the comments. We also gave him some new boots, which is actually Nike boots, because some of you guys have asked for that as well. And as you know, he's under no sponsorship contract at the moment, so he can wear what he wishes regarding the boots and stuff. And then some other people asked me to show my Ben's accomplishments and what he's earned so far within his career. So, of course, going down the list of accomplishments, you can see what he's won, what he's close to winning, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm showing you that today. But we have a bumper-packed episode for you all, so sit back, grab your favourite snack, get your favourite drink, and get ready to watch Ben in action for Ipswich Town today. We've got 4 games to come, all of which, in my opinion, are pretty decent games. The one thing that was a bit sad about it, actually, was that, of course, after Ben played his international duty, his first ever game for England, he scored the winning goal. I thought that was going to earn him another call-up to play in the next set of friendlies, which are coming right now, but sadly, he didn't get the call-up. He didn't make the last, kind of, 25-man squad that England had, which is understandable because I kind of looked at it and thought, even though Ben had such a good performance the first time he played an England shirt, of course, friendlies are a time to showcase the other quality that you have as a nation. So missing out on that one time for Ben, for me, it did kind of not necessarily hurt him, but at the same time, you have to understand where the manager's coming from. Calling up different players, he wants to see what they're like at international level. But I genuinely thought Ben did enough in the game that he played to get another call-up to England. And I asked you guys after that episode as well, whether or not he should be on the plane going to Russia. And there was a comment left, which has actually been after the episode now, that was basically hit the nail on its head for me. It said you should pick quality, not what they are playing in. So does Ben have enough quality to get on the plane to Russia? We'll have to wait and find out. I'm sure today's episode is going to be one that he has to improve, because yesterday he had a shocker pretty much, guys. He was making mistakes, costing him goals. He had to improve. So this game against Preston was a great opportunity to do so. Gave his teammate an early chance there, but this chance was pretty, not well hit in the end. And it was straight at the goalkeeper. Ben then gets a little bit of action for himself there as he takes a strike on, which was easily saved by the keeper, straight back into the path of McGoldrick, whose header was heading into the back of the net. Header heading in. I didn't mean to do that, but anyways. Keeper made the save again, though, from the corner. We end up getting a cross in towards the middle, and it is actually Hyam, or is it Hyam? I think it's Hyam. I think that's how you say it. I know his first name is, I think, Luke. So, anyway, it's Ben's midfield partner who opens up the scoring for us in this game. It was a great worked corner, and for me, personally, I don't ever seem to score corners in this game. I don't know what it is. I just can't get them right. I used to do short corners back in FIFA 17, but for some reason, it's working on the player save, and that's probably because I'm not actually controlling the players. But for Ben and the rest of the boys here at Ipswich, it was the best possible start. And admittedly, Ben, as I said, didn't have the greatest episode. Last time out, he was making mistakes here and there, but he seemed to be getting past that. He seemed like he was growing into this game and getting a lot of the ball and getting a lot of the action and playing exceptionally well. So as that first game came to a close, there was one opportunity in it, and it was taken by his teammate, and that was the goal that got them the 3 points. So you couldn't really ask for a better way to start off than that, could you, in all seriousness? But Preston, not really somebody who should be causing us too much danger. They have a decent side, but the way we're playing at the moment as Ipswich, it should be a fairly straightforward game for us, especially at home. You would like to think that Ipswich should be able to pick up the 3 points there, and that's exactly what happened. So Luke Hyam, I think is how you say it. Apologies if I got it wrong. Gave us the lead, gave us the win, and that is the way it finished. In terms of Wolves, though, they got to winning ways as well. A 2-1 victory over Fulham, and right now it is neck and neck with Wolves and Ipswich. So Ben's parent club seems to be able to keep the pace with his current club. So how cool would it be, guys, if Ipswich and Wolves were both promoted to the Premier League by the end of this season? One having been on loan, then he goes back to Wolves and ends up in the Premier League anyway. Or how would this be? Imagine the scenes if both of them are in the playoffs and they both get to the final. What on earth is going to happen then? What a story it will make if that happens for Ben. But you've got to say, if he's playing against Wolves in that final for Ipswich Town, surely you would have to consider, is he going to throw the game because it's Wolves and he knows that he's going back there to the Premier League? Or does he try his best against them at Ipswich Town? Or does he not play at all because it's a conflict of interest? I'm going to guess that probably would be the case if this was a real-life situation. So for Ben, he's going to have to make that decision if it does happen down the line. But into game number 2 now. We're taking on Hull here. Ben back in the team again. This time he's got Adeyemi next to him in the centre of the park. Other than that, pretty unchanged side from that first one there. It took 4 minutes into the game, actually, for the first chance. And this was just sheer quality from Ben. Little ball roll into the area he goes. Stops the ball completely dead. Feeds the ball across, saying, please make it 1-0. And this shot was straight at the goalkeeper. But sheer quality from Ben. And that is why a lot of people have tipped him for player of the month this month. So we'll see. I mean, he had a shocker of a month last month. This month, though, he started off pretty well. So as the ball ended up finding the back of the net, it wasn't actually Ben who got the assist or even anything on this one. So this was quite interesting because his teammate picks it up on the left-hand side. He had a couple of players around him and somehow he got in between the two of them, found the ball into McGoldrick, and McGoldrick applied the finish that you would hope he would do as a striker in your team. You want him to get that finish, but look where he ran from. He played the pass out wide to the left and then made a run into the middle, was found by his teammate and finished the move off. So credit to McGoldrick because that was a lovely piece of play. Not just stopping back and admiring his pass, he had the willingness to get into the area and he was given his just reward by finishing the move off as well to take the lead in the game. So after the first 3 points of the episode, things were looking pretty good for Ipswich. It took 50 minutes into this one to find the lead, but they were, importantly, in the lead, and that's something you have to say. Although, admittedly, they didn't manage to really close up shop here. 78 minutes in, Hull started to get themselves back into this one here. A nice ball into Ryan Mason, gives it back to Abel Hernandez, back to Ryan Mason. Mason's strike is well saved initially. And then there is Larson trying to win it at the back post, but he actually doesn't win it. It goes down as an own goal because the Ipswich man, for some strange reason, heads into his own net. So, I mean, I kind of didn't know what to make of this one. I thought he headed it onto Larson's head and then that is the reason it goes in. But for some reason, it was given as an own goal. So for me, I don't know why Contento was being given that own goal. I thought that Larson got the final touch on that. So I felt kind of harsh for Larson. But in all honesty, it didn't matter because Ben, the rest of the lads, they didn't get the job done. They were 1-0 up and they couldn't close the game out and they've ended up coming away with a point here. So it's a disappointing point because given the fact that 12 minutes from time they were 1-0 up and controlling most of the game, to not get the full 3 points from that, you have to say, it's not quite what you're looking to do. But again, Ben playing a stormer, he's having a much better episode today than he did in the previous one there. Into the next games then, and as you can see, Wolves this time didn't end up with a point. They lost 2-1 away from home to Reading, so it's a bit of a disappointing result there for Wolves. But I'm sure they'll pick up when they need to pick up. And as you saw very briefly there, the league table, if you pause it right on that time, you'll be able to see what it is. But don't worry, guys. You will see it later on in the episode, I do believe. So, Ben back in training. I said I wasn't going to use this. I forgot. I did it by accident, guys. It was just, clicked into my head. And automatically my fingers did it. And then, yeah, so my bad. But it won't be used. I'll try to make sure I don't use it all the time. Or that I don't use it as much as I used to do, which was basically every week. So, in that way, we don't have Ben at like 85 rated playing in the championship pretty much. But the way he's playing suggests his range should be higher in all honesty. So into the third game now we go. Chef Wednesday the opponents. This time it's back at home, which is Ivy Lane in game. But of course it's not in real life. And that was how the league table looked very briefly again on your screen. Chef Wednesday a little bit further down than Ipswich were at the time. So in terms of positioning, this was going to be quite a tough and quite a hotly contested affair. So this is going to be one of the more, close games we're going to have, one of the games where we're going to have to work hard to be able to get the result. It's exactly the same formation that we're playing from Chef Wednesday, so it's pretty much who has got the better man-for-man power in the game. So, two teams ready to go in this one. Both teams warmed up. Ben in the starting 11 again. I think Hyam's back in the team for this one, though, as well, which, of course, he gave us a full 3 points in the start of the episode. So, looking for a similar performance here from him. And as the game got underway, guys, it was actually Ipswich with the first chance, and it took right until the 60th minute of the game. Ball picked up on the left-hand side, somehow finds a lot of space in the middle, does Ben, and a lot of luck involved in that one there, because the defender does make the tackle, but it bounces straight off the shin pad of Ben and into his path for him to run through on that left foot of his and smash into the top corner. So 60 minutes in, we've not really had a great, start to our goal. Well, our strikers haven't had a great start to the goal scoring, barring that McGoldrick goal in the last game. Sears hasn't scored since last episode when he got that equaliser, and our wingers don't really seem to be doing much, whereas this episode, it is all about the midfielders. Hyam scoring in the first game to give us 3 points, and maybe Ben has just scored what could be the winning goal in this one as well. So very important that your midfielders grab your goals when they need to, and that's something that is going pretty well for Ben at the moment. He's actually got more goals than he has assists currently in the Championship, and that's what he's there to do, is create assists. But I did say I wanted Ben to be a goal-scoring midfielder, and he seems to be able to fit that bill at the moment. And 87 minutes in, you're thinking, surely going to be wrapping up the points. Well, as you quite clearly saw against Hull, we couldn't end up with the 3 points. And once again, this time at home, we crumble. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes from time. Well, and added time, basically. But even so, Ben's goal now cancelled out because of that from Jordan Rose. So, once again, disappointing because we were minutes away from securing a massive 3 points at the top of the table. So, again, I was like so annoyed because once again we just crumble. But another great match rating from Ben again. This time it's an 8 match rating in this one. And admittedly, even though we did drop the points, it's still going very well here at Ipswich. I wasn't expecting them to be as much or as high up as they currently are. And it is very, very nice to see Wolves winning against Leeds United there by a 1-0. I'm going to try my best, guys, to keep up with how Wolves are getting on along the series so that you guys know how they're currently doing. And if we end up going back there, we'll know whether or not we're playing Premier League football or not. I don't think, though, we will be a Wolves player next year if things keep going the way they are with Ben, because he's playing absolutely unbelievably that surely some Premier League clubs and even some clubs from Europe are going to come calling at some stage. He's playing too good to not get an offer, pretty much. So, out of that game, guys, third game there. This is the fourth now, and it comes at the hands of Aston Villa. This one was going to be interesting because, again, away from home, Ben's had a much better episode than he did last time out. Villa were quite low down, but I always think that Villa are one of those teams that even if they're struggling in the Championship, they are still going to cause you a little bit of bother. So I don't want to say right now that this is going to be an easy game, even though, theoretically, where Aston Villa are and where Ipswich are, you would like to think we're favourites, but it's not always the case. So, let's just see how Ben and the rest of the boys were going to get on. Adeyemi back into the team. It seems to be that kind of thing. It seems to be switching between Adeyemi and Hyam partnering Ben in midfield. And as we got underway here, guys, there was that sense that Ipswich could get the job done. 17 minutes on the clock. Ben asking for the ball in the middle of the park. Ball rolls it past that defender. Little stop back in there, and then he tries to get past him. Does exceptionally well with it. Dinks a lovely ball into the middle. It comes off the post. It's then put into the empty net, but rightfully, it was called offside. But that was an audacious run and a lovely little cheeky chip into his teammate. And I wish that goal would have stood there because that was just delightful. Into the second half we go, though. And there was about, I'd say, 20 or so minutes to go. And our keeper was tested, and he made a very good stop there. I have to give him credit for that one. Into the dying minutes, you're thinking, surely not. Ipswich can't steal this in the last minute of the game. We tried to do so. The shot was weak and tame. It went wide of the post, and that then brought the game to a close. So today's episode, guys, hasn't been great in terms of results. We got the 3 points right at the start. We then crumble against Hull when we're winning 1-0, and we end up with a 1-1 draw. We then crumble against Chef Wednesday when we're winning 1-0, and we end up with a 1-1 draw. Then we come to Villa and end up with a 0-0 draw. So, yeah, results-wise, not a great episode. But, in all honesty, Ben played well. He had a great, 4 games there with the match ratings and stuff. And that kind of got me thinking, these games were played over the span of a month. So, does this mean Ben will be able to pick up a player of the month? Because arguably, even though his impact hasn't been major in the way of assists and goals, he's had probably the best month so far of this series in terms of form. So, does that warrant him a player of the month? I think the last player of the month came from Hull, actually, so it should be interesting as Wolves pick up a 1-1 draw there against Bolton. And as I'm about to show you on the screen, guys, with the news, breaking news, we did see player of the month announced, and it did, in fact, go to Ben. So, he picks up player of the month for the first time in the series, which is absolutely incredible to see. Gets loads of achievement bonuses for that as well, because you do pick up player of the month. I'll show you a few of them in the next episode, if I remember, guys. But other than that, it's been a good episode for Ben's form, not so good for results for Ipswich Town, but hopefully it will pick up when we take on Forest next episode out. If you've enjoyed this one, guys, a like would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I will see you all again at 6 PM UK time tonight. Adios.